Hey guys, this is Camfrey15, joined by my co-host, the Red Wolf, for, as of this moment, the last time in saying we are back at it with another Dr. Stone episode review for you guys. Because the end of Dr. Stone Season 2, The Stone Wars, has finally aired. But good news is, it only took a few hours after the episode aired, but we got a confirmation for Season 3. Even if you want to say the ending of the episode was the confirmation we got for Season 3, since it said to be continued, but you never know.
You know, that scene with that statue, is that gonna be a new antagonist? That's my question.
Who knows? We'll just have to, we're gonna have to wait. But obviously Dr. Stone is the first of many animes this week that are ending off, sadly, which I would think was a pretty good season of anime of winter 2021. But hey, we're moving into spring anime of 2021. But let's have one last discussion talking about Dr. Stone this episode. And honestly, I didn't take no notes because, let's be honest, I wanted to see how this ended. And it ended up probably about any type of way you would think. And it's funny how this episode is titled The Prologue of Dr. Stone, because technically the first two seasons are the prologue of this story, I'm guessing. Just ending how to unpetrify these people, how to live in this stone world. And by the time you get to the end of the episode, we're going to the start of where I'm guessing this petrification type of wave hit. So definitely going to be exciting to see where that's going. But this episode kind of just establishes just some after effects of what happened last week. We have our gang members finally show up to take down the rest of whatever backup Yoga had in Homura. So they are now in prison for good.
What? Pause the video. Sorry, guys. Just some, stuff.
We see that Hyoga and Homura, they're put in prison. So they're locked up, but it seems like they got metal bars, so they ain't breaking out anytime soon. Two, the next thing is focusing on what happens to Tsukasa going on later in this episode. But one, I liked how they petrified one person in this episode who was a manga artist. And he comes out, he's like, what the heck? I need to meet my deadline. Come on. And they're like, whoa, calm down. Your deadline's over like 100 years old. And he's like, oh. And they just give him paper and he just goes back. And then what I found hilarious is you have Yo show up again. He's just like, they have entertainment? Aw. And then he just shows up out of nowhere and he's like, can I join?
Honestly, I didn't expect that.
He's a really funny character. I honestly died at the part when they made him go with the Yuzuriha group, and they're like, oh, we're going to be putting back these petrification statues. And he's like, oh, it can't be that much.
all of them? Yes, all of them. She said it so excitingly.
I think if Yo stays one of the more main characters, I think I'm really gonna like this guy.
Yeah. Now let's get back to Homura for a second. What does she see in Hyoga?
Maybe she wants him that bad.
Is that how it is?
I don't know. I don't know why you would freaking serve under Hyoga, but okay.
Yeah, then again, she looks like one of the more emotionless types, so.
Yeah. It's fun because early after they capture them, they do bring them the good point, like, are we going to kill these two? Now, you would think, now if it was me leading the helm, I'd definitely kill them so they don't freaking get in the way again. But Senku's like, no, we're not about that because we don't have the technology to justify their actions. So whenever the time comes when we get civilization back, they'll be judged for their crimes. And I'm like, well, how long is that going to take?
That's a good question. Would they all still be alive by then?
Yeah. But again, we see in this episode that they're willing to bring back people that especially knows what the hell Senku's talking about in terms of his scientific stuff, his scientific knowledge. So that also helps as well.
Mm-hmm.
But still, I guess you can say the same downside, still a repercussion of doing that is you might come up with a bad seed.
Yeah, like how it started out from the very beginning.
Yes. Now, obviously, this episode is centered around Tsukasa. Will he live or will he die? Would you care to tell the audience what eventually happens to Tsukasa?
Senku had that plan to petrify him so he can be cured, and he plans on finding out how this whole petrification thing happened and stuff in order to save Tsukasa. But he calculates that it would probably take him how many years?
They just specify it could take them a large amount of years.
Yeah, so he would probably die by then.
As I'm interrupting you, for some more background information, essentially because Senku can't repair an organ because obviously the lungs are very vital, and then two, they can't really do surgery, which is another funny thing. It looked like they were operating on Tsukasa in this episode, in one part of this episode, and essentially a crazy, evil look, and he's like, Tsukasa can handle the pain, right, Tsukasa? And he's like, and we just have Mirai just pass out and lose it, which I was literally like, oh my god, don't know.
She's a child! Don't do that to her.
So that was funny, but what Senku could do was create super glue to essentially try to seal the wound with a little bit of petrification rocks to at least give him some more time to live. But he still is going to end up dying, but they have another plan. You can.
Yeah, so where was I? So Tsukasa might be dead by the time they find out. So Senku came up with this plan to deep freeze him, so technically kill him.
Yeah, but preserve his body so his body doesn't rot and turn into a skeleton or anything.
Yeah. And
you get this very emotional scene. Honestly, I was like, damn, this shit hits. When you have just Tsukasa and Senku just talking just like a regular person, just the most casual talk. Because even Senku's like, why can't we just talk casually for once? And bringing up freaking Mario references and stuff like that. And I'm like, oh my goodness. This hits a lot. A very heartfelt scene for, you would think, two characters after all this time. And we said it last week. It's crazy to see that these characters had, I guess you could say, somewhat of a beef, but they resolved it just from this entire thing. Just that happened throughout this season. And I'm like, they're actually talking like they're best friends and stuff like that. And I did like the statements Tsukasa said, if there was only one person who I'd let, kill me, it'd only be Senku. So I really did like that line too. Because technically Tsukasa killed Senku.
Yes, he killed Senku first.
Yeah, go ahead.
So revenge. No, I wasn't gonna say much. Go on.
Yeah. Two, they did specify a little bit. I thought Kohaku was a nice little, I guess, bigger sister to Mirai in saying, listen, Senku, what most things he says, they eventually come true unless he, says otherwise, but I have my complete trust in him and stuff like that. I did like the fact that Mirai took the whole thing pretty, I liked how she took the whole thing with her brother and stuff like that. I really did. And I like the fact at the end, as they closed the refrigerator to eventually put him in essentially in a hibernative state, he's dead, but he's like his body's preserved, and they're gonna try to revive him finding to try to petrify him and then bring him back as some sort of reverse effect, which we'll have to find out. But I did like that line again, another tearjerker of a line where she's like, you protected me all these years, now I'm going to protect you. And I was like, no.
Now this I have to see in season 3, because I wonder how they're going to pull all that off.
Yes, and the episode ends off with essentially Senku saying, well, the only way we're going to do this is get to it right now, and the only way we can find out what led to this petrification stuff essentially is finding out where it came from the start. So they're going to build a ship, and they're going to be they're going to be doing the One Piece frail, set sail, and raise the flags. And they're going to be headed to the area where the petrification spell first took place, which I think the Dr. Stone author did take a little bit of inspiration from One Piece at this point in time. So definitely makes sense. Now,
the next thing you know, Senka's going to be starting to say, I'm going to become king of the pirates. This is exhilarating.
I'm going to be very intrigued to see what happens in season 3. I guarantee you when season 3 starts off, we're going to probably get a few episodes of them, on a boat out at sea, We'll probably see how they're going to get water. And two, another thing they did bring up about finding out how to petrify things. They said, like, for example, we could preserve food by petrification. And 2, it can get rid of all the bad diseases and stuff like that, which was like, oh, so they need to find out this information, like, really well, because then it can be something where you can save over, like, life forms and stuff like that.
So Kasa is actually dead. Can the stone petrification thing actually revive someone?
Well, we saw it happen with Senku. We saw it happen with Mirai. We saw it happen with the people that had cracked statues, and then you just build them back up, and then, we saw none. So
that is true. But
anything that can happen at this point in this show. So essentially the episode ends off with this guy with a petrification thing, and it looks like maybe he might be the main culprit in the whole petrification stuff, because he was raising his hand like this. Although he looked like he had a very not so good guy looking face.
Yeah, that's what I said at the beginning of this video. I was like, is that gonna be the next antagonist?
Yes, but Dr. Stone season 2, the Stone Wars, is over. I guess my thoughts on season 2 in its entirety was, I think it's good that this season was kind of shorter than the first season, where it just focused on really one arc and it just told its story. And now we look forward to whenever season 3 comes out for the series. I really liked everything we got here. We got some pretty good development for some characters that typically didn't get some spotlight, as well as along with the funny moments. But I did like the whole interaction, the whole thing of this war being fought with no bloodshed. So those are my thoughts.
Somehow they managed to pull it off. My God. Yeah, this was a good season.
Good question is, would you say this is better than season 1? I think it would be.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, despite it being short, they still managed to make it like somewhat of a masterpiece.
Yeah. Now, we don't know how long season 3 is going to be. It could be like 11 to 12 episodes like it was this season, or it could be back to 25 episodes like the first season. If they give us like these like short series, I'm fine with that, If it's because they just, is able to give us like focus on one story arc at a time. But I think this is we're gonna get out of here. So again, you guys, for the last time, like the video, leave a like, put in the comment section your thoughts on this episode of Dr. Stone, as well as the entirety of this season of Dr. Stone season 2. Please put in the comment section your thoughts. Again, do not post spoilers to anything that happens regarding the future of Dr. Stone headed in season 3. Well, let's hit that subscribe button for more Dr. Stone content. Well, other anime content for this upcoming spring anime. Again, we don't know if this is going to be goodbye, because I don't know if we'll be doing the whole Dr. Stone reviews by the time it comes back. So this could be the last Dr. Stone video I make, but who knows where the future will lie. But yeah, other than that, guys, for the last time when it comes to Dr. Stone, for the time being, we're signing out. So this has been Cam for 15.
And the Red Wolf.
Hopefully, guys, have a great rest of your day or night or whenever you channel this video. Until then, guys, stay safe out there. See you guys on the next video. And if you guys are interested in any of the spring, bless you, my God.
Thank you.
As I was saying, if you're interested in any,
that was an accident. That was an accident, just so you know.
if you're interested in any of the spring anime, we plan on reviewing, which so far on our schedule, it's My Hero Academia Season 5, which will be coming out this Saturday, and Eden Zero, which will come out in April. Hopefully Netflix gets those weekly instead of we have to wait for a boatload of episodes to watch. But yeah, unless you're ready to see our videos in Spring Anime of 2021, we'll see you guys then. So other than that, guys, see you guys later. Peace.
Peace.